the secondary. All right. So we're gonna start with the secondary. We're gonna go to the linebackers and go to defensive line. What are your overall thoughts on the secondary?
Um, I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing in one more veteran cornerback just because the Panthers have such horrible luck when it comes to health in the secondary with injuries and things like that. And JC Horn, this might be the year that he gets over the hump and is able to to play for a full season. He said that he did a lot of things different this offseason because what he was doing before obviously wasn't working, focusing more on weight
Mm,
training. I like the Dane Jackson addition. I know a lot of Panthers people could not stand Dante Jackson, but I don't think that he had a bad year coming off of an Achilles injury last year. I think he had a solid season. And you know how they say you don't know what you got till it's gone. Um,
mm,
he was somewhat of a veteran presence in that secondary. If they're able to bring Stephon Gilmore, which you know is getting later and later, closer and closer to training camp, don't know what those odds are of him coming back to Carolina, but I expect them to play hard and fast. It depends on that pass rush. They're going to need the pass rush to be able to cover these NFC South receivers, especially if the Falcons remember that they have Kyle Pitts on their team. Like so far, they have it. They tend to forget that he's out there, and I think that that bodes well for the Panthers. But if they remember that they have him on the team, that could be some matchup issues. They're a little thin at edge, which, of course, part of the pass rush. They're a little thin at edge, and it could be that could be an issue. You know, we're looking at the secondary and worried about the secondary, but pass rush could very well be an issue. I know a lot of people felt like Brian Burns was overrated. I don't think you're going to understand what he brought to that pass rush until you see what that team is like this season without him. But that's the thing. The secondary is only as good as the pass rush. You can only cover these guys for so long. And you do have some dynamic receivers that are in the NFC South. Not the greatest quarterbacks, but you do have some receivers that are a threat to have a big game. And so that's definitely a position that I don't know if they're going to add any more depth, but that's definitely a position that's going to have to rely on complementary defense.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'll jump in too. That's a Sheena made a great point about the pass rush. Um, just looking at the cornerback room like by itself, I think now assuming J.C. Horn actually stays healthy, um, and then you add Dane Jackson into the mix, like I think that we upgraded our cornerback room a little bit. If you look at some of the statistics, some of the metrics for Dane Jackson in comparison to Dante Jackson, like, and I know PFF is that's just one place that you can go to look at these sorts of things, but like
Do
Dane
y'all really look at
Jackson's
PFF like that?
I'd pay attention to it a little bit. I mean, I don't. It's not like I
I'm
use
No.
just wondering, like, no
not
shade. I really
religiously.
was just wondering. Like, it's a genuine question.
I use it as like a baseline to because if I'm looking at like okay, for example, Dane Jackson's coverage grade was better than Dante Jackson's coverage grade last year. He had a 71.2 to Dante's 66. CJ Henderson, by comparison, was a 43.9 in coverage. So when I say that, like, I feel like we upgraded, I feel like Dane Jackson could be a better cornerback too than Dante Jackson was. But to Sheena's point too, like, if we add somebody, like if we can add Gilmore or somebody else to that room, then I think it's really like we've really upgraded the room. But and then Troy Hill, like I would really like Troy Hill. I think he
He
had a
had a
good
solid season
season.
last year too, and
Yeah,
so did Boodle.
yeah, Boodle Hill.
DiCaprio.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
then Chow Smith Wade, the rookie, Chow Smith Wade. I
Mm-hmm.
really like. He's intriguing. We'll see how he looks in camp and all that stuff. But I've heard a lot of good things about him. So I mean, I think it could be an upgraded room. But JC's got to stay healthy. And to Sheena's point, the pass rush is going to have a great impact on that too.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.